Good morning, everyone. Welcome on into North Dakota Today. NDSU Associate Professor Holly Mackey joins us this morning to talk about an upcoming discussion she will be moderating. It's hoping to answer the question of who owns the relics of our past and the contested artifacts of history. We're deep thinking this morning. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
Good.
Good. It's so nice to have you. We've been chatting right before we came on air, too. We have so much to learn just about your background and about the upcoming discussion. So first of all, just tell us about yourself.
Well, so I moved to Fargo in 2019. I was really excited when the opportunity arose for me to come up to NDSU to work in the School of Education because I'm Northern Cheyenne, and all of my research really centers on American Indian education, economic development, and tribal colleges. And so I had been working at the University of Oklahoma, but I wanted to come back home. I wanted to come north and work with the tribal communities that I'm familiar with. So it was just a perfect opportunity for me to move up. And more recently, I've had the opportunity through this role in NDSU to take on a bigger job, I suppose. I was contacted by the White House a year and a half ago and asked to serve as the executive director for the White House Initiative on advancing educational equity, excellence, and economic opportunity for Native Americans and strengthening tribal colleges and universities. And that was an exciting experience, and I learned a lot. But one of the things that really seemed to keep coming up in the work that I was doing is that community matters, local context matters. And so I decided it was time to come home. It was time to come home and do the work here in this region with all of the people that I know and I love. And luckily, President Cook came into office just as I was thinking about coming back, and he is exceptionally supportive of all of the Native initiatives that we have going on across the region.
Talk about getting the call. She tried to bury that lead. She was like, yeah, my time at the White House. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Let's rewind back to that one. So congratulations. We're so happy to have you here back in our home community as well, especially when a discussion like today's is happening. So tell us about the event and how folks can come to it.
Yeah, we're excited about this event. As you had said, it's really thinking about contested artifacts, but more importantly, who stewards history. So who owns history, who owns the past, and who tells those stories. So we've had the opportunity through a couple of different avenues to work with the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum to think about the ways that oppression that happens across the world often intersects, despite the fact that it's on different continents and despite the fact that they're different communities. So our lecture today really thinks about these parallel struggles that American Indian communities have faced, as have Holocaust survivors, victims, and their families, in reacquiring all of the belongings that were theirs, right? And so President Cook has been very proactive in making sure that NDSU remains compliant with the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act, not because it's an obligation, but because it's an opportunity for us to really strengthen the relationships with tribes and tribal communities. So we've launched a year-long effort to really think about the ways that we can go through everything that we have at NDSU and provide all of the resources back to tribes, right? And then similarly, we know that these same things have happened with Holocaust survivors and their families and the families of victims, where they may be, say, for example, walking into a museum in France and then they see a suitcase that has their father's name on it, and they're unable to get those things back. And so this has happened time and time again, where people have had things removed and then governments and agencies and institutions have control over that past. And so we wanted to create an opportunity for people to really be able to tell their own stories and talk about why it matters. And one of the examples I like to use that really connects it kind of into a more Fargo area region is, when we're talking about artifacts, we're not just talking about, say, like ceremonial goods. We're not just talking about things that are of high value. We're not just talking about, you might see like headdresses and things like that. We're talking about very personal family items. So for example, if your family is Christian, you might have a Bible that dates back hundreds of years with your entire family history, right? You might one day find that you walk into a museum and it's there, and you would want that. And so we're really creating a conversation that helps us build these cross-cultural understandings, but also think about the ways that institutions and communities can come together to do the right thing.
Incredible. So what are the details of today's talk?
So today's talk, the Lowenberg Lecture, is at 3 o'clock in the Anishinaabe Theater at NDSU. And you're welcome to join us in person. We have a great food spread afterwards. We'd love to have you come and join us and meet the Holocaust Museum staff who are here. And Leora Oslander, who is a professor at the University of Chicago. She's a renowned expert in this area. She'll be talking. But if that doesn't work for you, we also have a Zoom link. One of the things we really wanted to do was make this accessible to the tribal communities across the region, knowing that oftentimes in November, travel doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So if you go to the NDSU website, you can find the information to register and the link for that, so you can get that Zoom link and log on.
Wow, incredible. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've got a busy day ahead.
Very busy, but we're excited.
I love that. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, stick around, everybody. We have plenty more coming up right here on North Dakota Today.